Hi, everybody. So, how can you tell the quality of a person? How can you tell the quality of the woman or maybe the man you are considering dating? Look at them. Look at them objectively, okay? Look at what they are right now. Look at them. Don't try to infuse into what you're looking at feelings or emotions or thoughts or ideas or whatever else you're thinking. Just look at them right now and focus on them. I gotta go get food for these guys. Hold on. Sorry, I had to go get some food for some stray cats. But anyway, I was saying you gotta look at what the person is. Look at what you are seeing right now. Don't try to create emotions or feelings or ideas around what you're looking at. Because what happens is that makes you create illusions and you lose sight of reality. Okay, so let's say you have a guy who tells you who is not emotionally available. Okay? That's a fact before you. The fact before you is that this guy is not emotionally available. Okay? You should look at that fact before you right now and consider how the idea or the fact that this guy is emotionally unavailable, how would that affect you? How would that affect your relationship? Would that bring positivity or negativity into the relationship? Would that serve you long term? Dating a guy who is not emotionally available. But what do? Oh no, we're not going to look at that fact. We're going to say, oh, the reason why he's emotionally available is because he just broke up with his ex. So he's still dealing with that. Or maybe because his mother did this, or his father did this, or this and that and the other. We create stories around that, right? That causes us to lose sight of the fact that no matter what story we're creating, this fucker over here is still emotionally unavailable. Doesn't change that. But what happens is that it makes us lose sight of the fact that he's emotionally available and we get involved in a relationship with him only to find out after we've invested time and effort and energy that the guy was emotionally unavailable. But you always knew that from the get-go. You did. And if you really want to understand him, look at his past. Look at what he's done. Look at the pattern he has. Look at the pattern. Look at his track record. Because you can tell a person by their choices. You can tell what a person values. You can tell a lot about what a person values, who a person is, by the choices they make. That tells you a lot about the person, about what they value, about who they are, about what's important to them, about them. Look at his track record. Look at his mother, his relationship with his mother. Start from there. And then look at his most recent relationships, his girlfriends. Look at his track record. That tells you a lot about the guy. You gotta be objective with this. I know we're human beings and somebody's gonna tell me, oh, it's all about, it's not very easy for us to be that objective. But when you are engaging a human being, you have to be objective. Objectivity, emotionality is great, but you gotta understand the power of emotionality to cloud your judgment. It makes you not see what is there. Now, if you are like me, my approach is different. Okay? My approach is different. The way I do it. I look at what's in front of me. I say fact. Okay? But before I look at the fact, I don't know how I do this. The best way to explain how I do it is that I merge, I taste their spirit. I assess their soul is what I do. I assess their soul. The way that I do it is that when I do it consciously, like when I do it being aware, like when I do it, I see somebody, I'm like, I need to weigh this person. What I do is that I assess their energy, right? I tap into their energy to see what it is. It's kind of like water, right? If you dip your finger in an ocean, you don't get the whole ocean, but you get a taste of the ocean. You dip a finger in the ocean and you have a small bit of the ocean in your finger, right? So you can tell a lot about the quality of the water, the type of the water from that little drop of ocean. That's what I do. I assess people's energy. Okay, so but after you assess the energy, it then helps what you're looking at make sense. Why they are doing this, why they are doing that, why they are this, why they are that. It makes sense. So if you're in a relationship with that person, you understand the reason why, not looking at his story. Because now, I don't look at the story or get emotional about why they're emotionally unavailable. But if I'm able to test their soul, I can tell you the reason why he's emotionally unavailable. From his own personal history. He not history that played out in reality, but the soul that he's carrying. What's the reason in his soul, which is why he's not emotionally available. His life has simply played that out. His life has simply played it out. I'm not interested in what his life has played out. I'm interested in why his life played out that way. So I go for the soul first. And then that now helps me understand what is going on. Now, I don't do this for everybody. I do it for people that I care about. Does this make sense? But if you don't have that ability, then you have to be able to look at them objectively. Take your emotions out of it. Take your ideas out of it. Look at what the person is right now. Look at what they are right now. And ask yourself, what they are right now, is that what I want? Will it be good for me? If you have a woman who is uncomfortable in her skin, you gotta ask yourself, how will being with a woman who is uncomfortable in her skin impact our relationship long term? Would that be a good thing? Would that be a bad thing? If you're with somebody who is lazy and doesn't work or doesn't want to work, somebody who is a pessimist, somebody who is a negative person, how would that impact you? That's what you should be asking. Not looking at, oh, I understand why he's a pessimist, he had a rough life. Or I understand why she's a pessimist, she had a rough life. Oh, I understand all of that. Because remember, all that experience they had in their life, they could have changed it. They could have transformed it. They could have used it to become more optimistic, used it as a positive force. They didn't. That is a question of their choice, no longer of the circumstance. Because they made a choice to lean that way based on their circumstance. They could have made a choice to lean the other way. So it becomes now more about who they are than what they went through. So, but if you take what they went through and superimpose it on who they are, you lose sight of who they are. And eventually, it is who they are you're in a relationship with, not what they went through. Eventually, it is who they are that will impact your relationship, not what they went through. Even though our experiences influence us, right? We cannot use our experiences as excuses for who we are. No. And so you can't go into a relationship with a woman and tell her, oh, you cheat on her because you can't control your sexual impulses, because you were betrayed as a child, and no, you were abused as a child, so you have. How does that help her? That's what I want to know. How does your inability to keep your penis in your pants help her? It doesn't. So that's your story. That makes no fucking difference on the fact that she finna walk out the door. Because you haven't solved that problem. You haven't fixed it. It ain't her problem. It's yours. And so if the woman looks at the fact, not your story, because she don't give a fuck about your story, she looks at the fact that you cannot keep your penis in your pants. That is fact, bro. Not your story. Your story is irrelevant. So she walks her ass out. Do you understand what I'm saying? So something with a woman who is a nagging bitch. It don't matter that she nags because, oh, I nag because I'm depressed, or I feel bad about myself, or I feel sad because my daddy did this and my mom did this. That's your story, bro. You don't change the fact that right now, this moment, you have turned into a nagging bitch. And this man does not want a nagging bitch. And this man is finna walk out because you're a nagging bitch. Look at the facts. Don't put your emotions into it. Just focus on facts. because the fact is the person you are looking at right now. That fact is that person. That person is who you're in relationship, not the person you're trying to create in your head that don't even exist. Okay?